Alright, so we've got a Third Eye Disloyal RHYA coming out alongside the new Julius skill page, basically in less than a day for everyone. It's going to be at 4 a.m. your time in your server. In US, it's going to be 5 a.m. EST when it comes out, so I will be able to make videos on RHYA in the morning. I'll have like give or take about an hour and a half, so I'm gonna have to still pump it out quick, so that's gonna be unfortunate, but we're gonna hopefully get stuff done good and well then. Now we could see here that RHYA is coming with a normal and also a paid summon, and then Julius, it seems like he has a free banner because first of all they put 3 different bullet points. One, the return rate up summon, and then a new skill page summon, which seems to be the free version, and then a premium paid version. So we're gonna have to see. You're gonna see this video before it comes out in Asia. I'm pretty sure it should be scheduled before 5 p.m., which is when it comes out in Asia. But when it does come out in Asia, I will be sure to make a video covering if Julius has a free or it's only paid. We're gonna see very soon at the time of uploading, probably in less than 6 hours. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now this video is going to go over the full kits of RHYA and the new Julius skill page, and I'm going to talk about in what instances and what to keep in mind in terms of future units. For example, is Sekrai going to help RHYA and Julius or not? So without a further ado, let's go over RHYA's kit, and then we're going to talk about what else. So we're going to do a kind of brief because I've talked about RHYA a lot. Obviously I took a little break because there was literally nothing for me to do, but you know, we'll get into it. So we're going to start with the passive. What it does is basically, depending on your partnered mage, which what that means is, okay, if we check it out in game, what that means is you're going to get a certain buff depending on this mage, right? So depending on who is here, you're going to get a buff, right? That's basically whatever role this person is that's partnered up with RHYA, you're going to get a buff. For example, if it's a defender, you get 30% reduced damage taken for 1 turn. Attacker, 30% damage increase. Supporter gives a 50% mobility buff, which basically lets him attack twice in 1 turn if we're being honest. Which I think is why supporter is going to be absolutely crazy, because it's just going to let RHYA get a lot of attacks quick. Now debuffer for PvE content, imagine him with Dorothy, SP plus 3 every time. It's going to be very good for sure. And then we've got for healer, 100% attack as a barrier. I think this one's mid. The attacker one is not going to be that good for now. I don't think so. But the defender, supporter, and debuffer is going to be good. Debuffer more for PvE. I feel like it's going to go between supporter and defender, but we're going to have to see when we actually play with RHYA. Of course, nothing's confirmed. Nothing is final until we obviously use RHYA, so keep that in mind. Now that we know how that works, right? For the most part, I'm going to look at RHYA in mind with either defender or supporter, okay? Those are the 2 that I want to look at him with. Skill 1. When you crit, you get an extra attack for 70% of attack and magic attack, okay? Very good. Now, skill 2, it's also going to copy 2 buffs. When you're attacking the enemy, you get 2 of their buffs, which means RHYA could have very easily either a lot of damage or a lot of damage reduction, which is really good. And then he extends counterattack duration on himself. Now, his skill 2 is insane. It's going to do very comparable damage to Julius's skill 2, right? So when you land a crit, you get an extra 80% attack and magic attack on an AoE is insane. Then you deal an extra attack, right? When you deal it, you get an electrocute, right? AoE. So you do a lot of damage, you apply electrocute, and then with the skill page, you remove all buffs on a designated enemy, which, I mean, against the mono green is going to be insane, right? Mono green specifically. Against mono green, right, removing buffs on like Vettel, for example, could be the difference between winning and losing. Easily. And what's crazy is if you're with a supporter, you use the skill 2, and then you're going to get another turn right away. So you remove all buffs, and then you get another turn, and then you ult. And the ult, what does it do? When you crit, get an extra attack of 170%. Insane. He has a low ult multiplier though. He does. Now, when he gets an extra buff, right, depending on who he's with. If he's with a defender, he removes immortality. Very good. If it was immortality block, he would have been like top 3 easily, but it's not. So it is what it is. Still very good versus Black Divider. Very good. Now he's also, for attacker, removes barrier. Supporter, 50% mobility reduction, which is actually going to be pretty good. Debuffer, SP -3, and then healer, barrier immunity. Still, I'd say these 2 are the best, for sure. Defender and supporter, for sure. And why defender could also be good is that if you're using like Defender William on the same team, Defender William skill 1's on Black Divider, and then puts him in immortality, and then RHYA could kill. So there's going to be little shenanigans, for sure. Now, you do need the dupes. Dupe 2, 5% damage increase per buff on all enemies. Remember, skill 2 is AoE. Skill 2 is AoE. Bro, Noelle puts three buffs. Damage reduction, crit rate, whoa, I can't speak. Crit res, and then absolute area. That's literally going to be a 60% damage increase with only Noelle skill 2. With only Noelle skill 2, that's a 60% damage increase. And remember, you remove buffs on the skill 2, so all the other buffs are going to stay, then you remove it, right? And let's say you're with a supporter, then you get a second turn rate away because 50% mobility increase, and then you're going to go again because he's at 103 speed, so he's going to go last, but then he's going to get 50% mobility, which is going to put him quicker. Now, when counterattack is present on himself, 40% crit rate, pretty much guaranteed crit. 40% crit rate is a lot. And then 15% damage reduction. And then if HP is less than 30%, grants immo for 1 turn. He gets immo, damage reduction, and crit rate. Oh my god. I can't speak. I can't say crit res and crit rate separately. And crit rate on his dupe 5. It's basically a necessity. I'm not going to lie. This 15% damage reduction is really good. Really good because obviously he's not going to have maxed out all the time. And this is just going to help him. Okay. Now, what I want to say is that he has a base of 25% crit rate. So, if you have a counter, 65% crit rate without any stats. Insane. Absolutely diabolical. Now, the combo puts concentrated attack, which is a guaranteed crit, and then counterattack. Very good. Now, this is the self and partner mage, which means to me, with Noelle, it's going to be pretty decent. But then it's also like, in other cases, it's just to give it to himself, right? That's the thing. Now, the Grimoire puts the all buff, but then what the passive does is there's a 50 up to 100% chance to grant a 40% damage increase when you perform an extra attack. Bro. This, I didn't even count this compared to Julius, but when you count this in, I think RHYA's damage is higher than Julius's. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That is insane. That is that is insane. Okay. Yeah. So, RHYA is going to be good. Okay, now there's 2 things I want to keep in mind. Number 1, Dorothy's coming out soon. And if you don't, like, RHYA is good, but if you have Black Divider, Dorothy's going to help you a lot more. Right, Dorothy, we have her full kit too. I'm going to probably make a separate video after the RHYA update. But, like, come on. Dorothy's just a lot better. Going to be better in PvE. And going to be very good in PvP. And, you know, I would say that more people are going to want to go for Dorothy. So that's thing number 1, right? That is thing number 1. Thing number 2 is that Julius skill page, right, is all you need, maybe. And if it's a free banner, maybe you're going to want to go for that. We're going to have to see if it is. That's the main thing. But I would say having to go for max dupe and then also getting the skill page decently high, it's a lot, right? It is. But the second thing is that this is also very, bro, I keep on showing the Broly OST. But the second thing is this. Sekre should be coming. Now then, one thing we have to realize, supporters. She's going to be supporter, right? First of all, supporter. If we check, so we got a light supporter, so it won't be light because we got Finral and Gray. Maybe dark, but then green, we have too many. Red, we got Rill. I would say blue. That's the thing. I feel like it's going to be blue because the last time we got it was Charlotte. And then for red, we got Rill. Then we got Charlotte here. I just don't see, you know. There's Kahona also. To me, I feel like it's blue or dark. Now, why would it be dark? Because they maybe want to make it so that Sekre can't be used with Black Divider. But I would say it's going to be blue because they might want to make it use with Black Divider, but also with RHYA. And RHYA on mono blue is going to be very good. Okay? So Sekre is going to put mono blue on the radar. And it's also going to make it so that Sekre like could be used with a bunch of dark units, which is going to be good, right? It might even bring Zora back into the mix. So to me, Sekre should be blue, which also makes RHYA very desirable for the future with that in mind, because RHYA has a lot of longevity because he has immortality, but then he also has specific buffs. And like in the future, right, maybe supporter could have something with MO removal, right? So we never know. Maybe Sekre is going to have that, which would make him even better, right? So we're going to have to see. But I definitely think that skipping RHYA is not bad. But you got to realize that Sekre might be very good with RHYA if she is blue. Is there anything confirming it? No, but I think that you guys understand my logic, where we have 4 supporters on green. 3 are... actually, Gulari's decent. Charlotte's very good. Vanessa's very good. And then we've got red, where... I mean, they gave Rill it. So it's either red or blue, right? To me, it's either red or blue. That's the main thing. We're gonna have to see, right? But RHYA is good. But the thing is, if you don't have mono blue built up, I just don't see it like being that good, right? I don't. I really don't. I think we need mono blue kind of built up. Check my previous video on all the teams if you want to have a more in-depth understanding of that. But I feel like mono blue is going to be the best. But we're going to have to see, right? If you're not sure yet, just wait for my videos. We're going to see how he looks on mono blue first, and then with Valkyrie Noel, and then even with Goldlity, we're going to see, and then we'll make our final judgment, okay? So if you're not sure yet, you just wait for my showcases, and then we'll be good. That's it. We'll be good after the showcases. That's basically all I could say for that. So yeah, that's it for RHYA. Now then, for Julius, the GOAT. He is going to be getting 15% damage increase per 10 speed. Why is that crazy? Because at base speed, that's 165% damage increase just for existing. If you have this maxed out, 165%. Much better than 25% all attack at max dupes, right? Now, it doesn't change anything else, just extra damage. But then you got to consider, when you add William's speed, when you add the speed, that's an 84% speed increase, 65, which is also going to be to where, let me open up calculator. So it's going to make it to where 100, I think I'm at 107, then 112, right? You could get up to 112 times 1.65. Then you divide that by 10. So he's going to get 18 instances of 15%. That's a 270% damage increase if you just got William with him. Which is why Julius basically is so good, because he gets to triple his damage. Right? So it's going to be good. But the thing is, you got to max it out. Because if you don't max it out and you don't get that damage, like, it's just not going to be as good. Now, even going for maybe 4 dupes or 3 is, like, maybe runnable. But I feel like maxing out is almost necessary. But I just don't think, like, the thing is, also Julius, what you got to consider with him is he's going to be good with PvE in mind, right? But the thing is, if Sekre is a blue supporter, she's probably going to buff attack and not magic attack, in my opinion. Which means that Julius long-term won't be as good as RHYA, right? I feel like RHYA has more longevity than Julius because RHYA has MO removal, buff removal, and immortality. I'm honestly rathering MO, especially when RHYA on mono blue has protection, than just a second life. Because that MO just feels a lot better, right? To me. It feels a lot better to me in a lot of cases. And RHYA, his damage should be much more consistent than Julius, because RHYA is going to have extra crit rate. So we have to keep a lot of things like that in mind. But RHYA just works better because the counterattack works better for RHYA, because he gets buffs with it. And he has built-in damage reduction, which is going to be very, very good. So we're going to have to see. Now, obviously, for like low investors, free-to-plays, if you get lucky with Julius, I feel like it's a lot better than RHYA. Because RHYA, you would need to get a max duped, minimum max duped. And then also, well, Julius too needs to be maxed, but most of you guys already have him maxed, which is why just getting the skill page might be better for some people, right? That's the thing. But honestly, I wouldn't even be like ashamed of you guys if you skip both of them. You could easily skip both and then just go for Dorothy, right? You could go for Dorothy. And then you also got to consider, right? After that, we might even get Sekre. Sekre might be next. It's either Sekre or the summer units. If it's a summer units, bless, because you guys get to save. But I feel like Sekre just makes more sense if they want to make money. So yeah, we're going to have to see, but I hope Sekre soon. I really do. Because she's going to be good. She should be. She needs to be. Right? It's been a while since we've had a supporter. That's good. Actually, no, it hasn't. It's just that Finral kind of sucked. But yeah, I feel like RHYA has a lot of teams that Julius doesn't really have. More so, I feel like RHYA works more on mono blue. But we're going to have to see. We're going to test him out. Okay? We're going to test him out, and then we're going to get a good idea of how he looks. Okay? That's it for this video. Let me know what you think. I think you're safe to just save. Like, they're both good. I just don't think they're the best. Right? That's the thing. They're not the best. But out of the two, I feel like RHYA has more longevity. Like, in a nutshell, maxed out, RHYA for sure is better.